Okay, welcome to today's video. If you have not warmed up, I want you to pause this video and make sure that you take the time to warm up. Give me 20 jacks, 20 high knees, and 20 squats. If you have warmed up, then let's continue on with today's workout. Up first, we're going to have our suitcase squats. So let's get ready to go. Feet are shoulder width apart, core is tight, that chest stays tall, that torso stays upright, and you're going to push those hips back. When you're doing this exercise, you want to make sure that you're feeling the weight in those heels. That way it takes the pressure off of those knees. We're doing 10 reps of these squats. Make sure those weights are heavy enough to give you a challenge as well, without being too heavy that it puts a strain on your back. Great job. Let's rest. Let's get ready for that next workout. Make sure you grab that heavy weight. We're going to do these side bends. We're going to start off going to the right. Are you ready? All right, with this exercise, make sure your core is nice and tight. Your feet are shoulder width apart. You want to start at that lower angle and then use those opposite obliques to pull that weight up. We are working the opposite obliques on this workout. Make sure that core stays tight. Good job. Take a quick little rest in there. Catch your breath. We're going into our underhand rows next. With this, make sure those feet are together, those knees are together, pulling those elbows back towards the hips. Those weights are facing upright, keeping that core nice and tight, pulling those shoulder blades together. Great job. Take a little break, catch your breath. Up next, we're going into those opposite side bends. Make sure that those feet are shoulder width apart and that core stays tight throughout the entire movement. Remember, we're starting low with the side with the weight, and then we're going to use those opposite obliques to pull that weight up. Don't use your shoulders in this. Let it all be all weight. Keep that core tight. Great job. Catch your breath. Take a little break. We're going into those shoulder presses next. You want to grab your medium to heavy weights on this one. Feet are shoulder width apart, core is tight, chest is tall. We're going to press those weights up into the sky, into the air, towards the ceiling, bringing them together at the top and then pulling back down. Nice tempo. Don't rush this and don't drop those weights too quickly when you're relieving or when you're coming on that down movement. Great job. Take a little break. Catch your breath. We're going into those wood chops. You want to use a lighter weight on this one. Lean to the side, shift that weight over to that working leg and bend that knee on that standing leg. Keep that core tight and keep those arms extended straight. Lean over to the side to engage those obliques. Great job. Take a little break, catch your breath. We're going to go over to the other side, of course, because we can't be lopsided, right? Here we go on the other side with those wood chops. Are you ready? Remember, with this weight, you want to go maybe about a 5 to an 8, depending upon your ability and your strength. You could even go as low as a 3 if you're just getting started with working out. Keep that core tight. That's really important. Great job. Let's take a little break. We're going to go into our next exercise, which is our single leg deadlift. One foot is behind to make sure that that toe is up and that toe is down. That heel is off the ground. Bend that knee that has the foot pushed back. Make sure that knee stays bent. When you're going down, you're going to bend both knees slightly, and then that standing leg is going to come straighten up when you come up. Keep that core tight. Squeeze those glutes at the top of that movement. Keep those arms extended straight. You should feel this in your lower back, maybe even lower abs a little bit. You're going to really feel it in the glutes and the back of that thigh. Take a little break, catch your breath, and get ready to get situated. We're going to move it over to the other leg because we can't be lopsided, right? All right, you ready? Let's go. You're taking those dumbbells down to the shin level, mid-shin, and you want to use a heavy weight on this exercise. Since this is our first set, you can go a little bit lighter, but we definitely want to increase those weights the next time. The glutes are our largest muscle, so they can truly handle those heavier weights, okay? And you don't want it to be too heavy, though, that it's straining your back too much. But you definitely want to feel this in your glute, in your hamstrings. Make sure you take a little break right here. All right, we're going to go to the floor for some bicycles, working those obliques a little bit more on our next movement. Are you ready? Let's take it down. Opposite elbow to opposite knee. Keep that core tight. Rotate those elbows all the way to that opposite knee. Make sure you're breathing. Do not hold your breath. Make sure you're rotating that torso. Great job. Take a little break right here. Give those obliques a rest. Now we're going to go into our chest presses. So grab those heavier weights with those chest presses. Head is going to be on the floor. Heels are on the floor. Heels are on the floor. We're going to line those weights up with the sternum of our chest. So we're not at a 90-degree angle directly out from our shoulders. We're lining it with the middle of our chest. And do not let those weights come down too quickly on that down movement. Nice and controlled. Great job. Take a little break right here. Up next, we're going to go into those reverse crunches. So you're going to lift that head off the floor, chin is facing the ceiling, and those heels are going to go down from those bent knees. Core is tight. Make sure you're not looking at your knees and feet. You want to look at the ceiling so that you don't strain your neck. Keep that core tight the entire movement. Almost done. Good job. All right, you've reached the end of set one. See how quickly time flies when you're having fun? You've done a great job so far. You've only got 2 more sets to do. We want to make sure that we are really giving these muscles a good workout. So on these next 2 sets, if you weren't as heavy in your weights on that last set, I'd like for you to go up a little bit if you can and if you're comfortable with that. When you get to the way that you know you've got the right size weight is when you get to the 8 count, you feel like you only have maybe 2 to 4 max reps left. If you've got too heavy, if you can't do too many more, or if you could do 12 more, your weight is too light. And if you can't do more than that, if you can't even reach the 8, you're too heavy. All right, let's get ready to go back into our second set. Ready with those suitcase squats? Get that heavier weight. That core is tight. Remember, push those hips back when you go down and put that weight in those heels. All right, let's go. Set number 2. You're off to a great start. Keep going. Push those hips back. Core is tight. Keep that chest tall. Good job. There you go. Make sure that core stays tight. Squeeze those glutes at the top. Good, good, good. Put that weight in those heels so you don't injure those knees or hurt those knees. Great job. All right, let's take a little rest. And then we're going to go into our next exercise, which we're going back to those side bends. Ready? Let's go. Keep that core tight. Remember that weight is starting low and you're pulling it up to the top with the obliques. Do not use the shoulders. Don't engage the shoulders in this movement. This should be all oblique. If you feel your shoulders up towards your ear, release it and let it go. And let that dead weight from that dumbbell, let your obliques pull that dead weight up. Good job. Now, you know we got to go back over to the other side, right? But first, we're going to do our underhand row. Feet are together. Pull those elbows back towards the back wall. Core is tight. Slight bend in those knees. Weights are facing towards me. Good job. Let's take a little break here. Now we're going back over to that other side for those side obliques, those side bends. Here we go. Keep that core tight. Make sure that shoulder's down. Do not have that shoulder raised up towards that ear. Those legs are straight. Feet are shoulder width apart. Awesome job. Let's take a little rest right here. Catch your breath. We're going back into those shoulder presses. All right, are you ready? Let's go. Keep that core tight, whole movement. Make sure when those weights are being released that you're not just dropping them, letting gravity have its way with you, but you want to resist gravity going down. Nice and controlled movement. You want to work all those muscles, both on the concentric as well as the eccentric movements. Great job. Let's take a little break right here. All right, we're going to get ready to go into our next exercise. We're going back into those wood chops. Remember that knee that is standing, you want to have that bent, that core is tight, those arms are extended the entire time. Bring that weight down to that knee. Take it down to the floor, light tap on the floor. Try not to shift your weight when you come down to the floor. It can be a challenge sometimes, but try not to shift that weight. We want to work that whole side of that body. Great job. Let's get a little rest in here. We're going to go head into the other side for those wood chops. Alrighty, are you ready? Let's go. Bring that knee up and bring that weight down to that knee. We want to really get into these obliques on this movement, and this is a great way to do that. Remember, this weight is lighter. You can stay lighter on this one. 3, 5, 8, depending upon your level and ability. We're going to go back into those single leg deadlifts. Left leg is first. Take that left leg back. Keep that toe on the floor, lift that heel off the floor, bend that knee. That knee stays bent the entire time. Every time you go down, the standing knee should bend slightly as well. Keep that core tight this entire movement. Squeeze those glutes when you come up to the top. Make sure that you are breathing and take that weight down to the middle of the shin and then bring it back up. Now in this movement, you want to make sure, we're taking a rest right now, but you want to make sure that your shoulders are rolled back. So your chest is going to be a little bit forward. We're going to switch those legs. We're going to have that right leg. The toe is going to be on the floor. The heel is off the floor, slightly behind that left leg. And we're going to have that right knee bent. And every time we go down, we're going to slightly bend that left knee. Core is tight. Roll those shoulders back. Squeeze those glutes at the top. Great job. If you lose your balance like I did, that's perfectly okay. Take a little rest right here. Catch your breath. We're going to take that weight and we're going to put it down, and we're going to go down to the floor for our next movement, which is back to those bicycle crunches. Yes, we're working those obliques a little bit more. Are you ready? Let's go. 10 on each leg. Make sure you rotate that torso to really get into those obliques. Keep that core nice and tight. Elbow to knee. Great job. Keep breathing. Awesome. Let's catch a breath right here really quickly. Before we go back into those chest presses, make sure again that you grab a heavier weight on this one. You're going to have that weight lined up with the sternum, which is in the middle of the chest, as opposed to coming straight out from the shoulders. Keep that core nice and tight, even on this chest press movement. Those feet are flat on the floor. You're going to have a little bit of an arch in your back. And remember, slow release when you take that weight down. Great job. You have done an amazing job. We're going to go into our last exercise, which is the reverse crunch. Hands behind the head, chin facing the ceiling, head off the floor, knees are bent. We're going to take those heels down to the floor for a very light tap and bring them right back up. Keep that core nice and tight. Remember, chin gazes towards the ceiling, not towards your knees and your feet. You'll strain your neck that way. Amazing job. All right, you have reached the end of set 2. And I don't know if you've noticed, but we've been working several body parts and we've been doing our abs in between those sets. So we're working our shoulders, our chest, our glutes, we're working our back. All of those major muscle groups, we're working those, and then as we're taking a little break in between, we are making maximum use of this time by incorporating some ab movements. Make sure you're grabbing some water right now because we are getting ready to go back into your third and final set of exercises. We're going to take it right back to the top, and we're going to start off with those suitcase squats. So grab those heavier weights, feet are shoulder width apart, core is tight. We're going to keep that chest torso tall, and we're going to go ahead and get started. Here we go. Push those hips back and press up. Push those hips back, press up. You want to push those hips back far enough that that weight gets into those heels and not into your knees. Oftentimes, people will do squats and put the weight in their toes, which instantly places pressure on those knees, and that's what we don't want to do. Great job. Awesome. That's the last set of those suitcase squats you've got to do today. Up next, we're going back into those side bends. We are giving these obliques a serious workout today. I hope that you're feeling them. I'm sure you are. Keep that core nice and tight. Be sure, remember, keep that shoulder away from that ear. Let those obliques do all the work. Don't engage that shoulder. Don't get that shoulder to help you out. Let those obliques do all that work of pulling that weight up and over to the side. You're doing a great job. Please make sure that you keep breathing throughout this entire exercise. Keep going. Awesome job. Awesome job. You're going to take that rest right now, and we're going to get ready to head into those underhand rows. Yes, we're going to get into those back muscles. We are unbigging those backs. Yes? Good job. Make sure you keep your core tight on these underhand rows, and you're going to keep those shoulders close to the body, pulling those shoulder blades together every time you move up. But as we always say, make sure even when you release, it's a nice controlled, slow release so that you get those muscles engaged both on the movement as well as on the release. All right? Time to head back into the other side of those side bends and get those other obliques working for that third round of these. Keep that core nice and tight. Pull that shoulder away from that ear. You know how we do that. Core is tight. Pull over. Make sure you're breathing the entire time, and make sure your feet are indeed shoulder width apart. You're doing an awesome job. Keep that core tight. You're almost there. Keep pushing. Great job. That's the last set of side bends. Are you excited? We're going to head back into your last set of these shoulder presses. These are 12s that I'm holding here. So you may want to do an 8, a 10, a 12, 15, even if it depends on your level and your strength and your ability. Don't overdo it to the point where you strain or pull something or tear something in your shoulder, but you do want to make it a challenge. So if you get to count number 8 and you feel like I can do 2, maybe 4 more, you're in a good spot. If you could do 12 more, you are way too light. Great job. Let's rest it up. We're going back into the last set of those wood chops. Remember, this weight is anywhere from a 3 to an 8-pound weight. Core is tight. Shift that body weight over to that standing leg and make sure that that standing leg is indeed bent. You want to try not to rock and shift your weight when you take that foot down. You want to keep that weight on that one side. So everything on that side is working. Obliques, glutes, hamstrings, thighs, all of that's working on that one side. And we're going to go ahead and go over to that other side and finish up that set over there. You ready? Keep that core nice and tight, because that is our primary muscle that we're working, as well as all of the other muscles I just mentioned. That's the benefit of doing compound exercises. You are doing great. Good job. Take that rest. You are done with those wood chops. We're getting ready to head back into those single leg deadlifts for the last time. So make sure that you start with that left leg. Bring that leg behind you. Place the toes into the ground, lift that heel off the floor, bend that left knee. You're going to keep that core tight and take those dumbbells down to mid-shin level, and then bring it back up, keeping that core nice and tight the entire time. Keep those dumbbells close to your body and pull up. Let that dead weight be lifted of those weights. Let your glutes do the work of lifting those up. Now, you're going to feel that lower ab. You're going to feel that in those glutes, especially that left glute. You're going to feel that in that left hamstring, that back of that leg. You're going to feel that left side working, but that's why we do as a single deadlift, because we isolate that one side even more, and it causes it to work a little bit harder and be a little bit more effective. So if this is too much, you can always do the single leg deadlifts and then work your way up and build your endurance and your strength up to doing the single leg deadlifts. That's always an option and an alternative. Good job. Keep that core tight. That glute should be firing off right about now. Keeping that core tight is really important to support that lower back as well. It also helps with balance. Good job. Take a break, catch your breath, put that weight down. We are going to take it down to the floor for our last set of obliques. So get yourself situated on the floor. Get ready to go into this next set of obliques, and we are going to rotate. Begin that rotation, left arm to right knee and vice versa. Keep that core tight. Make sure you are breathing throughout this entire exercise. Great job. All right, let's take that well-deserved break right now, that rest. We're going to go into the last set of chest presses. Get ready for those. Core is tight. Grab those weights. Position yourself on the floor. Line those weights up with the sternum, which is in the middle of the chest, and press those weights up. Imagine that you've got a barbell here. You want to have that barbell just in the chest area and pressing up and down. Great job. Keep that core nice and tight. Even with this chest press exercise, we can always engage that core to get that work in there with all of these exercises. Great job on that. Enjoy this rest. And we're going into our last and final exercise, our reverse crunch, our last set of these. These are great for engaging the entire core abdominal wall. So you're going to have that chin off the floor, hands behind the head, chin facing the ceiling, gaze towards the ceiling. Knees are bent, light taps down. Those feet are flat, and you're lightly tapping those heels down to the floor, keeping that core tight. Make sure you're breathing throughout this entire exercise, please. Awesome. You've done a great job today. Thanks so much for joining me, and I'll see you for the next workout next time.